going on, everybody? Welcome back for another
Woo.
episode of the CKL podcast. Of course, I'm Tyler. We got Jessica here. No Kyle, no Dylan. Kyle's got stuff going on. Dylan's off in Colorado visiting museums and going to concerts, outdoor concerts, right? Isn't he going to Red Rock?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
having fun.
he's doing all kinds of cool stuff out there and telling us all about how he's going to move there and abandon
And
us.
become a Switchbacks fan.
Yeah, and start a Switchbacks podcast. Like,
Boo.
what the heck? Like, traitorous stuff over here. No, it's good. I hope he's having a good time. I can't give him
Yeah.
too hard of a time. It's weird. You go to other places, and like as a visitor, you're like, man, I could live here
Yep,
sometimes. But then I'm sure,
definitely.
like, I always have like that creeping thought in my mind, like, yeah, but if I moved here, would I actually like it this much? It's nice
Right.
as a visitor, but would it be cool to live here?
I mean, we
Huh.
were about to move to Michigan, so
I know you guys were like, let's move to Michigan and start
right.
a random Michigan team podcast. And I'm like, oh man, can't be in Detroit Lions country. I can't do all that. No way. But hey, it's cool because we're gonna hold it down for this episode. We got some good stuff to talk about. Some things brand new on the horizon, some things just kind of like mulling over what's been going on. So I don't know. Let's just like jump into this.
Let's go for it.
Let's do it. First off, I want to congratulate the USL2 squad on a great season. I
Mhm.
know that they fell short of the playoffs just barely. Oh, man, Fort Wayne getting that win, such a bummer. And we had that draw to finish off the season. We were so incredibly close to playoffs, but you can't be mad at it. Finishing second in the group and going toe to toe with Fort Wayne. I'll say it again. People don't understand. Fort Wayne is prepping for League One. So it's not like they're just hanging out USL2 perpetually. Like they're
Mhm.
planning to move up. They have talent on the team that, of course, they're trying to see like, hey, can you guys hang and go up to that level with us? So for us to go toe to toe with them, I think that was
Pretty
impressive.
big
And
deal.
I don't think anybody can be upset with that performance. They were definitely a really cool bright spot and a lot of tough spots in the other seasons going on. So big props to USL2. I hope that we see either some of the guys back for future USL2 squads, or maybe,
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe they like end up playing a role in one of our USLC trainings and then that gets them a spot in the 18. And I don't know. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed their performance and everything everybody did. Yeah, that was a tough game against West Virginia. I caught most of it. I had to watch it from my phone. So I'm sitting there wrestling with Sports Engine, and then we have like the lightning delay, and then it tells me the game's going
Oh
on,
yeah.
but then nothing's playing. And luckily, I got on just in time to see Sasaki score, which was really cool. It was a great goal. But props to the USL2 squad. It's weird that it's already over. It's like the W League was a flash, and then USL2 was a flash, and you're like, wait, what just went down? We're already
Right.
done with it all. But it's okay. Now we still have extra soccer to focus on because Super League is back in action, and we're going to get to that soon. But we got that going on same time as USLC. Before we chat about games, let's chat about kits. I'm feeling talking about kits. Now, we already kind of speculated about the third men's kit that's dropping tomorrow. The club posted again today, or well, by the time you're listening
Another
to
little
it, it might have
teaser.
been yesterday, right? Because we're recording Monday. But yeah, another little teaser. It looks blue, doesn't it? The
There
teaser.
was a lot of blue in the teaser for
In
sure.
the previous one too,
Yeah.
with like the fuzzy TV, which is a cool promo, but
Mhm.
it
Yeah, that
looks
was a really cool
cool.
promo. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think we're gonna end up seeing blue.
I think so.
There's just a lot there've been a lot of blue in their posts, and
Blue everything.
I would be happy to be proven wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm still like I don't want to immediately knock it just because if it's for sure not green. I mean, I think it's pretty clear to say
Yeah.
it's going to be blue, but and I am definitely bummed about that, but
Yeah.
I've still heard it's pretty epic, so I will wait to hold my judgment until we see it.
I'm going the same route. And we're pretty plugged in with other fans, and I think that's a
Mhm.
lot of other fans' biggest gripe is it's kind of like two things actually, really. Like one is we haven't seen a men's green kit this year, and so it's like, man, the third isn't a green one again. And then the other gripe is some people just don't like the like even just hinting, I guess, that it's kind of a rivalry thing with Louisville in the sense of like UK versus U of L. And I totally get
Mhm.
that. I totally get that because it's in some ways it's fun and I don't hate it. In other ways, I'm like, let's just kind of stay out of that and let this be our own
Yeah,
and build our own rivalry city to city through soccer. Um,
right,
so I can see both sides. I'm very much able to kind of see the justification behind it, but
right.
I am going to hold my judgment, like you said. I'm the same boat. I'm going to wait to see what it looks like because I heard it's again, like you said, somebody said it was epic. It was top notch. We'll see if it really is. If it's an amazing kit, even if it's blue or whatever color it ends up being, I'm all on board for it. Um, yeah, I gotta say though, I've heard that the USL Super League kits are going to be like the cream of the crop. I've
Yeah.
heard that those are going to be like the kits. So I don't
And
know. I'm
and if the
excited to see.
training kit is any indication,
Oh man,
then I think we
yes.
are definitely revving up for some excitement for
Yes.
sure.
I loved that training kit. I was about to pull the trigger on getting that, but I gotta slow down on my kit buying. My wife was like, "You have like a quarter of your closet is kits, and some of them you can't even fit into right now." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm working on that, slowly but surely, one rec
Hey,
league soccer game at a
I know.
time.
Yeah.
I'm getting there." But and so I'm trying to be really picky this year about which ones I for sure buy, and of course that means just waiting and seeing. But it's kind of hard to wait on that one. I really like it. Like right off the jump, I'm a sucker for kind of crazy kits anyway. But I feel like
Mhm.
this was crazy in a cool way, and I was pleasantly surprised whenever I saw pictures because I wasn't able to go to the game in person for the
Right.
women. But seeing the pictures of it on the field, I absolutely love that the pattern goes all the way around the kit. And it's
Yeah.
not just like a front pattern with a blank back. And you see that a
Right.
lot on kits. And I
Mhm.
can't stand that when it's a crazy design. I want it to go the whole way around. It was really slick looking. And I think a lot of people love it.
Yeah. That's the impression I've been getting too. Everyone is well, I mean, I know in your Instagram there are a couple people that said they weren't a fan, but
Yeah.
I think the overwhelming majority are
Yes.
definitely a fan. One, partially, it's green.
Yes. Yeah. I think that was a big hit. I think you
Right.
could have thrown any green slop out at that point,
Oh my
and
gosh,
everybody
for
would have been
real.
like, "Take my money. I got this."
Yeah, but yeah, the design is really neat.
Yeah.
During the women's game, the numbers on the back were really bright green, so you
Yes.
could see the numbers.
Imagine.
What a concept.
Imagine.
And I know. I mean, not like putting dark green on black,
Right.
but I digress. And actually there were where we were sitting, there was a family sitting behind us
Mhm.
that one guy said, like, I would sell my children for our kits to like have numbers like that bright. I don't, it was obviously very dramatic and but
Yes.
they
Mhm.
even were really big fans and were also genuinely surprised when I said that was just the training kit. They're like,
Yeah.
seriously, that is an awesome kit.
It
Um,
is.
and yeah, so even the Louisville fans by us that were sitting by us were impressed by it too. I would
It's a
say
good sign.
the dark green looks
Mhm.
it's very dark in person.
Yeah.
So I know in the pictures it looks a little more forest green, but in person it's like really, really dark.
Yeah. Probably got even, like, darker as they played too, because everybody's,
Right.
like,
Yeah, for
sweating, and
sure.
so then it's but I love the kit. I think it's really, really cool. I
Mhm.
think it could have easily been a full-on official kit
Yeah,
in my mind. I think I
absolutely.
I would have been happy with it, and I still
Yeah.
am happy with it, and,
Yep.
I've been asking for a while. I've even kinda chatted up with, like, Leslie and a couple people at the club. I'm like, "Man, just do some training kits so you can do something wild." And if you can't do something wild with the regular ones, do something wild with those.
Right.
And I think it's a cool opportunity to kinda test things out and then offer another kit option, even if it's not like the official game kit. Um,
Yeah.
I really like them. I'm gonna be, like, bookmarking that in my cart. I'm going to put it in
Yeah.
there and I'm going to wait and see what happens with this men's kit tomorrow and then the coming USL Super League kits whenever they drop, which probably going to have to wait a little while for those because usually we don't drop those until a week before like the first match for our away
Right.
game and then our first home game. So still have some days before that happens, but
I
ah,
just I just realized
Mitchin.
too, our first Super League game is away. So I
Yeah.
wonder if we'll get to see the away kits first then, and then
Yeah.
the home. But because I know initially the men's, until they released the bourbon kits, they just played in the
Right.
black kits. So I wonder how they'll decide to do that.
Yeah. I'd suspect that they're going to have them ready to go because I feel like
Right.
with the men's kits, it was kind of like we switched to Hummel, then it was like there's our season, so just
Oh yeah,
put
right.
something out. I would assume, I mean, I could be wrong. I would assume that we will be ready with the away kits come
Yeah.
time, and it'll be like, here you go. But you never know. Delays happen, and I don't know. It may not.
I'm not gonna lie though, and I didn't actually look to see the timing, but I was pretty impressed with myself because I'm a weirdo like this and like to look um week to week at the new arrivals, and
Yeah,
I caught that before I saw that they posted any, like it was right before
you
they posted
did.
it on social media. It was crazy. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh wow." Like I
Hmm.
don't know how I managed that, but it was pretty cool.
Sometimes the
Um
timing's just right. You sent that to us, and I was like, "Oh man!" And I went to the website, and I was like, "Okay, all right, it's legit. We're doing this."
yeah. Oh, and so as far as the rest of the guys on the CKL crew, Kyle said he liked it, right?
Hmm.
Kyle thought it was cool. Dylan, not to call him out, he was one of the
He hated
naysayers.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not like it at all. But he did amend his statement when he saw the pictures of the players
That's
actually like
true.
wearing them,
That's true. He did
which
say they looked better in person.
is fair because online the picture of the kit doesn't look like an actual
Right.
photograph. It looks like, a design generated image that they
Yeah.
did on a computer and like, here's
Right.
what it should look like. So that is fair. I totally get that. Sometimes things look 1,000,000% different in
Yep.
person or even through a photograph of an actual person wearing them. So I understand and I respect him changing up his position once he realized that they are actually really good. I think they are.
Yeah.
That's just me. And I will say, kind of thinking about this one being our green one, I hope it's not our only green kit since it's not like the official one. I hope that we have one that is like an official
Yeah.
green kit for the ladies. And,
Yep.
if by chance, by the time people are listening to this, they've already seen it, I'm sure. But if by chance people are disappointed in this kit that we presume to be blue, there is still hope that the women might have a green kit. And at the end of the day, like, for us buying the kits, there's nothing demarking them as like, okay, this is a women's Super League kit or this is a men's championship kit. It's all from
Right.
the same club. So that's my little grain of salt that I'm also like using to feel good about things is like,
Yeah.
look, as long as the club has a green kit this year, that's a banger. I'm
Good
cool with
point.
it. And at the end of the day, we do have that training kit to fall back on. And that's what I plan to do. If I don't like any of the coming kits, I'm going to go back to this training kit. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to buy that for myself.
Actually, that's a really good point because yeah, when you look at the club as a whole, we'll have
Hmm.
black, orange,
Hmm.
presumably blue, and then if we do similar to last season with a white and green, that's 5 different kit options.
Yeah, and then you add in the warm up, like,
Oh yeah, the
so, I
training
mean,
kit and then
yeah,
yeah, both
and maybe
training
the
kits, the
ladies have a
gray.
3rd official kit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true because the guys had the training kit, the messy kit it's
yeah,
floating around out there. So, we have a lot of, like, color options,
that's
honestly, and
true.
and at the same time, like, I think sometimes people have a weird feeling about training kits too. They're like, "Well, it's not the official kit." And I'm like, "Well, it is. It's just
Right.
it just has training put in front of it." And yes, they might not play many games in that kit, but it's still a kit that was used at least in a match. Like, and what's
Yeah,
so wrong with it if it's not? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here trying to be like, "This is the official kit worn by Corey Burke when he scored a goal. His sweat stains are still on it, and I'm just that level of fan." Like, it's whatever. I'm just out here trying to rep my club, and if we come out with some cool kits, whether
yeah,
they're training or game kits, I'm on board. That's just
yeah,
me, though.
definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm hoping we'll keep our fingers crossed that they are bangers and that we end up with some really fly kits for Super League, especially. So we'll,
Yeah,
we'll get there when we do. Speaking of Super League, so since I wasn't able to make it, I had other things happening that held me back. I was like a game time decision, and then game time came, and I was like, oh, well, I guess my decision was made for me because I was not done with my obligations that I had to finish up. But you managed to make it. You took the
yeah,
family, so
yeah.
you're going to be kind of our all-knowing, all-seeing eye,
Yep.
tell us like your thoughts, because preseason matches are weird enough, right? Like this one was about as standard as you could hope for as far as the
Yeah.
format, right? Because wasn't it 2:45s with a halftime,
No
and then you throw
stoppage,
in
but
PKs,
yeah. And then
right?
they did the practice PKs at the end.
So pretty standard. But then you always know with these preseason matches, you're going to see all permutations of the squad. You're going to see just
Right.
about everybody take the field at some point in some form or fashion. So thinking about this with us knowing it's still preseason, things are still kind of like wonky and being tested out. Give us kind of like what stood out to you about this match.
Well, first, I was going to comment on Lynn Family Stadium because this was also our first time going to a game there.
Oh,
And it
yeah, it's
was,
great.
and I'm not the type of person like, oh, it's the away team. I'm just going to crap all over, everything. Like their stadium was really cool.
It's
Um,
nice.
I really like that almost, unless you're like in the club, like by the boxes and stuff,
Right.
anywhere you're standing, you can pretty much see most of the game.
Yeah.
So like if you're going to get food, you can you still have a decent view. If
Hmm.
you go to the mini pitch, like it's really open, which I think is awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, because I know with our stadium, and obviously there's still room for growth and changing things up there. If you're at the mini pitch, you're stuck watching it on the screen, which at least we still have that option. But there's other spots in the stadium where you're blocked off from being able to see anything. So
Hmm.
it can be kind of challenging, if you especially if you have kids and your kid doesn't want to sit in the stadium,
Yeah.
like you're kind of limited on options there. But yeah, I really liked how open it was. the the seating was really, it definitely threw me off with how steep it was.
Yeah.
And
But it
we
makes you feel close to the pitch, though. It's really
yeah,
weird,
yeah,
like, the feeling you get, you're like, "Wait, I'm kinda high up, but I actually feel like I'm pretty close to everything."
right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the stadium was awesome. I also like seeing the type of merch that different teams do. They had some really cool designs for their
Mhm.
merch, and like different options and stuff like that. That like, oh, I wonder if we could, eventually have some of this stuff for LSC. But
Mhm.
so all that aside, oh, and the food was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I
So,
don't know whether I.
anyway, this is still a Lexington Sporting Club podcast,
Yes,
so don't forget, we're just giving credit where
I'm just
credit is due.
commenting on the overall experience.
Yeah, and that's what we do here, we're being honest, and
Yeah.
those were good things. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's
Still, it's
there's
green all day, every day.
one thing I don't know whether to note that my son thought was the coolest touch. He was really upset because his snow cone bowl had tipped over, and then it like broke and leaked all over him, so he went to the bathroom and he came out. I don't- he's like, "Mommy, I got cheered up going to the bathroom because apparently they have little soccer balls in the urinals." And he's like, "And I could like move the soccer ball."
Oh my god.
I just I
That
wasn't
is
sure
such,
whether,
like, a kid thing
yeah,
to say.
but it's kind of like, wow, they really thought of the smallest details of,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, that I know that's just a random thing, but I figured people would enjoy that, especially
Yeah.
how much of a kick my 9-year-old got out of that.
Right.
Um, but okay, so besides the stadium, the game, um, the first half we started with a lot of the newer signings. I'm trying to remember. So we had Sarah Cox starting in the goal. She
Yeah.
was a returner.
And then
Vernus,
Nicole was starting, right? Yeah.
and there was one more. Oh, Trinity Watson.
Yeah.
Those were the three returners that started alongside all the new signings. I feel like it went pretty well. I think Louisville, I feel like they definitely dominated possession. We got a
Mhm.
lot of practice with our defensive corners. I don't think the entire game we had 0 corners, offensive corners. So if that kind of shows you, and in the first half, like the Louisville's goalie played pretty high. So I think they.
You're right. It sounds like Louisville controlled the game.
Oh my gosh! Sorry.
You have your own personal Jarvis over there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Sorry
correct, Jessica. That was great.
Yeah, that was funny. So it was evident that it was a team that had only been playing together less than a week.
Yeah.
We didn't do bad, but I wouldn't say we did amazing.
Just missing some of that polish we would have after like a month together.
Right.
Yeah.
Hannah Johnson, I think, is her name. She got a yellow card in the first half, which, I mean, in my opinion, I'm like, it's a friendly. There's no reason to foul and get carded. And it was a ridiculous foul too. Like, she like bear hugged her. It's like, what was the point of this? And it was like at midfield, so it just seemed kind of silly. And there was another yellow card in the second half as well, by us. I can't remember who got it. So in that sense, I'm like, there's no reason to get carded in a friendly. But as far as the speed of play, it was like Austin and I were talking about how with the men's friendly that at the beginning of the season, it was kind of boring. Like the guys, clearly they weren't, they were maybe going like 70-75%. The women, like they were really playing. And it was very high speed, like fast tempo. And the second half, we had a lot more of our returners. And you could see, like, they posted on Instagram the substitutions that they had made. And I feel like you could tell that, I feel like it changed it definitely changed a bit, as the words.
Would you feel like the tempo change, or was it more of like the synergy between the players changed? Or
yeah,
what would you say was the biggest difference?
Definitely synergy. Like it just felt a little more smooth. We were able to get we were able to create more opportunities in our offensive third. And we didn't really get many shots on goal, but we were getting shots. Like Hannah White had a shot. I believe Maddie Parsons I think she had a shot, possibly. And then we had a trialist that got subbed in, maybe I think midway through the second half, and everybody was like, "Who is this person?" Obviously they didn't like announce who she was, so didn't realize at first that she was a trialist. I mean, obviously, if they'd announced her, we would have known. But I didn't know that's how we did things with trialists, that you can't technically say who they are. And within the first couple of minutes of her getting in, like she bawled, man. Like, even like the Louisville fans that were sitting behind us, they were super cool, and they were like, once we figured out she was a trialist, they were like, y'all need to sign her. First couple minutes she gets it and scores a goal. Like, it was awesome. And after some research, it sounds like we were able to figure out and I'm pretty confident it was Sarah Griffith. And she played with Chicago with the NWSL. And then at one point, Hannah White got subbed out, Maddie Parsons got put in, and I feel like their synergy as well. Like, they were creating some opportunities down as we were progressing down the field. Overall, I mean, it was a good game. There were definitely, we made mistakes, and which you would expect with a team that's been playing together. Oh, and
Mhm.
Hannah Richardson too she was on the left side.
Yeah.
And they were vibing really well. Yeah,
That's
it was an
that's really
enjoyable
cool to hear,
game.
though.
Huh?
I like that you're saying that our players from last year carried over that link that they have,
Yeah,
and that feels good because I feel like that's what we can build off of is like, okay,
for
what
sure.
is good and who is linking up, and then how do we kind of take everybody else and then make this a whole system for the entire
Yeah.
team, right? Like let everybody in on this. So that's really neat to hear, and you love to hear that we were able to hold our own against Racing, which of course Racing is like mid-season, and
Yeah.
they probably weren't going like full
All out.
on, let's just, like just do everything we can to get this win because it is a friendly. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to have anything unfortunate happen. You're going to still try, obviously, but you're not going to, just lay it all out like it's a championship final. But
Mhm.
I think it is really good to see us hold them to a 1-1. 1-1 draw. I don't think that's anything to be mad about considering the circumstances. Like
Yeah.
thinking about the idea of our team not even having a full week of practice together and then
Mhm.
you manage to pull off a draw, that's cool with me in my book. And you always, we say this 100 times around this time of year, you always have to take all this with a little bit of a grain of salt because preseason's wonky, it's weird. There are so many factors at play that would not be at play during the regular season for
Yeah.
both teams that are involved. That sometimes it's a little tough to get a true gauge of everything, of all the things involved. But I think that you could still say that this is a pretty good win. This is a good
Right.
sign for us.
Well, and obviously not saying that the new players that we've brought in did bad by any means,
Mhm.
but it was just
Right.
clear, in my opinion. And I say that, but the fans sitting behind us, when I'd mentioned they've been together less than a week, they
Mhm.
were also surprised by that.
Right.
So I think obviously I was going into it with a little more critical think
Yeah.
like um being a little more critical of how they were playing and observing like how they played together. Um so not saying they did bad by any means,
Oh,
but
no.
um yeah, it was really cool, and it's also challenging because we're just figuring out who everybody is, their numbers and stuff. So I feel like the
Mhm.
entire time I'm like, who is it that just did that?
Yeah.
Constantly looking
It's
at the
true.
roster. Um
It's so difficult, and, like, it's really, really tough with players too because, like, sometimes you'll see them on the field and they look so different than
right.
out in just, like, everyday life.
Yeah.
It's weird because 'cause I'm like, "Wait a second. Oh yeah, that's who that is." And it just takes time. It takes time to get used to who
Mhm.
all the players are and everything. And I totally get what you're saying about like being analytical and it's so tough. And we even have
Mhm.
players coming from teams where they played together last season, but
Oh
you're
yeah.
still like thinking about, well, now they're in a new system with a new coach.
Mhm.
And then there's
Mhm.
other players on the field that are different. And just because they were on a team together last year doesn't mean that they're out there right now together at this time. So it's like preseason's so crazy. It's fun. It is fun though, because then you start like theorizing and dreaming up like what's this gonna be like whenever it really starts clicking. So it's
Right.
like exciting to get those first looks like what you did, where you can see those glimpses and see like, okay, that's what that person has to offer. So then I wonder what's gonna happen once everything is smoothed out and they've been together for a while. So um I'm jealous that you got to see him.
There I one other thought I have is between the first and the second half, there
Mm-hmm.
were some differences as far as play. I think with the second half, we created a little more opportunities in the
Yeah.
offense as far as shots on goal. But in general, there wasn't much difference between
Mm.
how everyone played. And so I think that also um, is a note to the depth of the roster and the skill that we've brought in this season. And I think there's so much potential, and I'm really excited to see what we do this season.
That's really cool. And speaking of about depth, like at the time of us recording this, the team announced that Maite Lopez is coming
Oh
back
yeah.
on an extended loan from Angel City. So we have another attacking force back in the mix, which I'm assuming she wasn't there, right?
No.
That one. Yeah, I didn't think so. So, because I didn't hear anybody say anything about her being there. But, we have another attacker in the mix yet again. And she had some really cool flashes at the end of last season where it was like, okay, all right, she might get a few handful of goals. Like, who knows what's going to happen? So,
Yeah.
that was really good.
A couple, so as far as the trialists go, we already know about Maddie Parsons that she's trialing right now. The number 35 that scored the goal, believed to be Sarah Griffith. Then I think there were like two others. One was a goalie, which we've kind of been seeing in Shin's socials a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but it was cool but we got to see her too. And I think there might have been one other, but I don't remember specifically. So definitely some potential there as far as other signings that may be coming.
That's cool. And this might be putting you on the spot because we just talked about how we're trying to get names with faces, and that takes some time. But was there a name and or face out of the new squad, the new people that joined us, that really stood out to you and made you be like, okay, I can't wait to see what they do this year? And if not, that's okay. Because like I said, we're still trying to get names and faces. So I get it.
I would say, and I think partially because based on where we were sitting, it was easiest to see her play Kenzie Weinert.
Yeah.
She did awesome.
She's one I'm really excited to see what she does.
Yeah. And where we were sitting, like you said, where we were sitting, it was kind of hard to see, but I know for sure she was one that stuck out the most to me.
Right. That's a good shout. I'm very excited to see what she has to offer for us. And, I'm just excited about all of the players, and I can't wait to see what each of them does. I think it's, super cool that, we got in some players, especially in defense. I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed it in the picture because I know how tall Sarah Cox is, because standing next to her, I always feel so small.
Yeah.
I'm like looking up at her and I'm like, hello, it's Sarah Cox.
Yeah.
And we have like a couple of players on the squad now that are like matched in height with her. So that's like really crazy. I think we might have one of like the taller backlines now, which is really neat. But I agree with you, seeing what Kenzie Weinert has to offer for us, because I feel like we heard her name so much last year throughout the Super League season. Yeah, you got to see. And then Addie McCain is another one that I'm like, okay, how many goals you got in the tank for us? It's gonna be good.
I think one of the gosh, I may be wrong, but I think it was you're thinking of Allison Pintuso.
I think she's one of them.
Yes. She's really tall.
Yeah. And then I forget who our other tall player is in the back line.
Kat Berry, she's tall, but she's offensive.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking, because Kat Berry is tall as well. We got some good height on the team. Like, it's awesome.
Right.
It's really cool. Well, I don't know. I'm excited. I think I've heard through the grapevine that we have other preseason matches, at least one, maybe two. I don't know how much those are going to get advertised or how much they're going to be talked about.
Right.
But I really hope that they allow the team some extra opportunities to, of course, number one, stay healthy, but number two, gel together and then kind of distill down to like, okay, this is who we are as a squad, and this is how we're going to play together and get everybody ready for this season, because it's coming so incredibly fast. I mean, even thinking about it being like, 40 something days away, that's really quick when you really kind of like break it down. It's not going to be anything but a flash, and then boom, we're there.
Yeah, so the first home game, the home opener is Sunday, September 7th at 2 p.m. against Brooklyn.
Man,
so
2
get
p.m.
ready to show out. Huh?
I don't think I caught that was going to be a 2 p.m. game. Okay, I like that. I keep saying I really like when we have those games that are like those early afternoons. So much easier to take the kids to. So much easier.
Yeah.
They're not like crabby and being like, oh, why aren't I in bed? And then losing their mind. And then, like you said, they drag you to the other side of the stadium and they're like, I want a balloon animal, and then I want kettle corn, and then I want to play giant chess. Yes. And you're like, hey, we've been here for 40 minutes. Can I go back to the game?
Yeah, I just want to watch some soccer.
Which hail Austin. Austin half the time he's like the sacrificial lamb, and he'll be like, "Oh, you want me to take the kids?" And I'm like, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir."
He is a saint. Shout out
He
to
is.
Austin
Shout
for
out to Austin
the parental duties.
and his cup holder designs.
Yes. Oh, we showed you the most. Yeah, you've seen the most.
I've
recent.
seen the most recent. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to put it up there and be like, check this out. Maybe our next like Instagram post. We'll just have like
Man.
a whole diagram of the
He's
evolution.
gonna be known by the CKL fans as the cup holder guy.
And he'll be immortal forever.
Yeah.
They're gonna build a statue out there by like the tulip things, the giant shade things. That's where it's gonna be.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. So okay, Super League, exciting stuff. Good 1-1 draw. Lost the PKs, but only by like one, right?
We were walking over.
Trying to get a better
I
view,
think
right?
we should have just stayed in our
Mm.
seats, but the sun was beating down. It was really hot and humid.
Oh yeah.
But we were still on our way there, and
Yeah.
so I missed half of them. But
Yeah. It seemed okay. All the little like X's and check marks I kept seeing on Twitter. I was like, okay, we're at least like holding steady with them until they got the final one. But that's
we had
okay.
some awesome. Shin had an awesome goal. I know.
Yeah. The video on IG was really cool. Hers
Yeah,
was a banger. That was
they
great.
didn't show Sarah Griffiths, but she got one. And I think those are the only ones I remember seeing. And Sarah had some good saves too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I hope that all translates too.
Mhm.
Let's talk about championship. So we went to Jack Brown's. The club was like amping it up hardcore with the Railbirds talking about this Jack Brown's get together. Everybody going there to watch the game. I hadn't been there before. Things kept getting in the way for all the away matches whenever they would hold these events.
Oh yeah,
At least the Railbirds.
and
I
they're
know
late.
you've been before. Yes, usually they're late, and this one was a reasonable time. So this one, though, I was very surprised when I walked in to see how packed it was with LSC
It was
fans.
awesome.
It was all green in there.
Yeah,
it was so cool. I don't know.
The one watch party I had been to before that, there were not very many of us. So I think having the club really hype it up definitely, and the time definitely helped.
I was going to ask you about that because I knew you had gone to at least one, I think maybe even
and it
two
was a
before,
later
right?
one too.
Yeah. And it is hard whenever it's like 10:30 at night and you're like, everybody come out to this bar downtown and support the club. And everybody's like, I would love to, but I'm probably going to watch it from my lazy boy and, and see what I can do. See if I can get enough caffeine in me to stay up. But this one was really cool being earlier, like you said. It was a relatively nice day. Tons of fans came out. The club amping it up and posting it everywhere, I think was really instrumental. It was a good time. Like,
it was a lot of fun.
Yes. And like, shout out to Jack Brown's in general, because I felt like the hospitality there was great. I didn't catch his name, but there was one dude running around. He had manager vibes to me, not in a bad way. Just
the one with like the ponytail.
Yes. Yeah. The glasses. He was
I don't remember his name either, but yeah, he was awesome.
He was like, he kept coming up to everybody being like, what can I get you? How can I help you? What can I do for you? And I'm like, oh, okay. And it was like all the time, so everybody could actually enjoy the game. Nobody had to go like stand somewhere to order food forever or get a drink forever. Everybody could be right there in front of a TV, and they would come find you and be like, what do you need? We'll get you anything.
And in past times I've been there, that's kind of just how they do things. But I mean, with that many people, they were on top of it.
They really were.
Yeah. Which I don't know how they do that, honestly. I think I would get so anxious and be like, I have this person's food and they're just floating around and I have no idea where they are. And like they find you with your food and your drinks and they're on top of it. And the food is just so good. Oh, man.
I was gonna get some food and I didn't because I got so absorbed in the game and stuff. So I've still got to go back and get a burger or something because everybody says they're amazing. I know. I'm going to though. I'm gonna get one next time I go. I was just like so enthralled with everything that was going on in the game and how many people were there, and it was just a good time. And
it's a lot
talking with everybody. You know what I mean? It was really, really cool. And you get a chance to do that stuff at games, but it felt different there,
Yeah.
and it was nice. I
It
felt
was
like I
really
got to
nice.
talk to way more people than normal.
Mhm.
So I
Well,
don't know,
and
like
oh, sorry. I was gonna
you're
say the
good.
only downside was there's one TV that was like 4 seconds ahead.
Oh my gosh. Yes, so half of the
You
restaurant would be
you
cheering
could
or
hear the
booing,
reactions.
and then we're on the other side, and we're like, "What just happened? What's going on?" And,
Or
like,
like
you have this
I
2 seconds of terror.
I noticed when the goal was scored, like, everyone started cheering, and we just
Yes.
like, before we even saw the goal, we just started
Yeah.
cheering,
Yeah,
and then
I know.
and then the excitement when we actually saw it, oh my gosh, that was
Yeah,
so funny.
I think there's gotta be pictures of us when we're all, like, confused, but then starting to cheer, but everybody probably still has, like, a look on their face like, "I hope this is great." Like, I don't know,
Something good happened.
that was so stressful, though. It was so stressful. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, why is there such a time delay between these 2 TVs?" But
Yeah, or if there's like
the
a, "Oh," like, "Okay, did
I
they
know,
score? Or, what
right?
happened?" I
It
guess
was
I'll
so
have to
bad.
wait 4 seconds.
That was the one downside, you're right, but, sometimes the streams just act funky like that, but
Yeah,
I was very pleasantly surprised, and I would definitely go back to Jack Brown's, and it didn't feel, like, weird or, like, it didn't feel like us being there was a bother. It felt
yeah,
like everybody was there to have a good time, and the
right.
staff was so amazing, so,
Yeah,
I mean, even if you're not going there for a game, go to Jack Brown's. They were awesome.
absolutely.
They
Yeah,
were the
I've
best.
never had a bad experience there. I've been there multiple times. They're fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. I loved it. So we got to watch this game, which of course we were even talking about this. We were having such a good time at Jack Brown's. Sometimes it was hard to like lock into the
Really
game because
focused.
yeah, because I mean Super League players are there. We had some championship players there. There were like
Mhm.
all kinds of fans from the Railbirds and fans that, you know, weren't necessarily part of the Railbirds, but we didn't get to see before. So everybody
Yeah,
was chatting it up, which was amazing. But
yeah,
also I was like having to go back and forth between the two. But this game, I think even with divided attention, I think it was very easy to see that it was as most you could say as like the saying of like, okay, this is a tale of two halves. This was spot on with that saying,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It was so weird, especially like going back later, and then you look at things like expected goal charts. You look at like stat charts, which I know not everybody listening looks at those things, but I'll check them out. Some other fans check them out. It was very, very uncanny to just see the divide and the momentum swing. Because like
Yeah,
that first half, and we even said this on the pod, like we were talking about Miami coming up, and I remember saying like Miami's kind of weird this year. Like last year they were a joke. Let's be honest, they were getting pummeled by everybody constantly. This year they had a little bit of momentum, and then they stumbled some. But then I always felt like they could end up swinging back at any point, and I was worried it'd be against us. It just
mhm,
gave me this bad vibe, not because we were gonna do anything wrong. It's just sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes a team finds that form back and then they come strong and you're just like, "Oh, man." So, Miami definitely showed up strong, in my
yeah,
opinion. Like,
yeah,
that first half gave me some anxiety, honestly.
yep,
Like,
definitely.
I don't know about you, but it just felt like they were constantly on the gas, and it's like they kind of had us figured out from the get-go, and they knew what they wanted to do about it. And we
Mhm.
just couldn't quite find our momentum or our footing, and it always felt like they were very much in control.
It and it felt like we were reverting to old strategies that weren't working for us.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
especially when we were starting to build up to, attack the goal, we would get there and then we'd pull back, and we
Mhm.
would start recycling again. Just a lot of the stuff that we saw at the beginning of the season where we're like, "What are you
Mhm.
guys doing?" Um,
Yeah.
Whereas, the previous games before this, where we'd get up there and we were really dangerous and putting a lot of pressure on, and like getting shots off. And so yeah, it felt like we were reverting a bit. Um, and then Kendall Burks, I it was one of the moments I was a little distracted, but saw replay. of, honestly, the fact that we tied, I think
Mm-hmm.
he saved us from losing that
Mm-hmm.
game because of the shot that Miami got, and he was right on the line, the goal line, and was
Yeah.
able to deflect the ball. Like, oh my gosh, that
Clutch.
was amazing.
He's done some stuff like that this season. And
He's
we
done
said
a
it
lot
last
of that.
episode. He just doesn't get his flowers like he should sometimes, I
Oh,
think.
for sure.
Just unsung hero too
He,
often.
he's had
It,
multiple moments like that.
he truly has. And I mean, like, I keep saying this tale of two halves, but I mean, you like break down the stats. I'm not going to read off every stat for everybody because you can easily find it on Five Mob. So I'm not going to kill you with them. But I mean, if you look at like the shots, I will tell you those. Like the first half, Miami had 12 shots. We had 2.
Oh my
Miami had
god.
5 shots on target. We had 0. They had 2 big chances. We had 0. They had 1
Oof.
big chance miss. We had 0. Like we were beating them in accurate passes, but they were beating us in almost every other stat, including passing, in the opposition half, in the final third. Defense, we were beating them, but that's because we had to play defense more than they did. And then they were beating us on duels. So they were like crushing us in that first half on most metrics.
Mhm.
And they really were like showing, okay, we studied up on you guys. We know about you. And that's what
Right.
it told me anyway. And that goal they got on us, like, it was slick. I'm not even gonna lie. It was slick. The little move that was made to make that happen. I don't know. Like who was it that ended up popping that over? I think it was Milano. Yes. Yeah. So Milano, he ends up like going, he receives the ball right there at the box, does a little like half turn, and then just pops it back in for the runner who scores. I mean,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
honestly pulled off a play that was tough to cover. Like because everybody's trying to make sure everybody's covered, but then you pull one of those little moves and do something unexpected like that. It had flair. I can't even lie. I can't even lie. I want
Mhm.
to say it was terrible and the worst goal I've ever seen in my life, but it wasn't. It
Yeah.
was a good connect between them. That was some really really strong focus between those two players to pull that off on us. And it was a bummer to go down early, but second half, completely different story. I feel like
Mhm.
our second half, we really found our formula. It's almost as if we came to the game with 2 separate plans. And we were
Mm.
like, here's plan A. If plan A doesn't work, we're going plan B. One of the two is going to work for us. We just got to be patient and see how they play out. And I think that plan B really, really showed up for us in this match. And I'm not saying we were like 100% dominant. It wasn't like we came out and just ran the table with them. Um, I do feel like, though, even you look at like the second half stats, the biggest thing that stands out to me in the second half is we held them to 0 shots,
Oh,
0
wow.
shots total. Yeah. No shots at all.
I didn't realize that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We're not even talking like 0 shots on goal. Like they didn't get a shot
Right.
off at all for
Yeah.
like that whole second half, considering what they did in the first half, how many shots they were taking. To do that in the second half, that shows massive resilience and
Yeah.
a really, really smart tactic change to make that happen for us.
Mhm.
Because, clearly the team, the coaching staff, they realized that we were getting beat and they made the best adjustments possible to make sure that they could stem that and just make sure it wouldn't continue to go on into the second half. I think that, we've talked about some of these games where we've had to be resilient. And maybe it didn't look super pretty in a way that it's like, oh, we're dominant here and we're winning 3-0. But I think that these types of things really help you believe in a coach and a team. I think
Mhm.
that this is what makes me feel like good and be like, okay, like we didn't just sit there and try and hammer out the same game plan and tactics and players the whole 90 minutes and hope for a swift death, right? We actually made some changes and it impacted things, because for us, obviously the first half we weren't really getting any shots off. Second half we had 8 shots, 3 on target. Of course, we ended up with a goal from it. That awesome aerial cross from Sargent
Oh,
lands
man.
to
It was
Corey
beautiful.
Burke. And I feel like Corey Burke too. We just expected bundles of goals from him since he joined
Yeah.
us, and so when they do come, I always feel like they're really nice ones. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It makes you
That's true.
appreciate them even more.
They're
It
pretty
may not.
goals.
Yes, it might not be that he has like 30 goals on the season yet. Season's still young. but I do feel like he has some cool goals, and being able to connect like that with Kieran, who had a great game himself,
Yeah.
I think was a big deal for us. And then to go in through the rest of the game, that second half, it literally was flip flopped. Like we beat them in all passing metrics. We beat them in
Mhm.
all dual metrics. They actually started beating us in defensive metrics because we were putting the pressure on. So
Mm.
I am just really, really pleased with us being in like the tail end really of this road stretch. We only have one more game on the road before we get to come back home. For us to be able to still have that mental power and with itness to
Yeah.
respond the way we did, and actually make things happen physically as well, it's huge for this team.
Well, and I was also surprised. Adedekin, I think they went into the game knowing that he was dangerous,
Yeah.
and they put a lot of pressure on him. And I think he still played really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we even recognize him as a dangerous player. When he has the ball, we know he's gonna, he's gonna make some plays.
Yeah.
But I think we didn't see as much from him necessarily because
Yeah.
I think they were on top of him a lot.
I would
um,
agree.
and we were looking at the standings too, just as far as I feel like with the Eastern Conference, there's generally more points. Um, the higher up it goes. And I think when you look at the entire, but when you look at the so they're kind of like, sorry, my brain is not it's trying to put the
You're
words
good.
together.
So like the Eastern Conference is like the
My,
top two teams are pulling away.
yeah, well, in
Yeah.
Miami, they're kind of like they're not at the bottom. They're a little bit in the middle there. But when
Yeah.
you look at the championship as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
our our records are very similar. We have the same amount of
Yeah.
points.
Mm-hmm.
So, but especially with the top two teams kind of taking the top few teams take oh my gosh.
Running away with it.
Running away with it. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're
Um,
good.
do we think that changes the quality of the points that Miami has in regards to like how you would compare them to us with our record and points?
Yeah, for me, I feel like it's kind of weird to kind of get a true handle on all these teams. In my mind, I kind of feel there's a lot of parity in the league right now.
Hmm.
It's very much like anybody anytime could do something. You're always gonna
Yeah,
assume Charleston and Lou City are gonna pull something off. They might stumble here and there. But yeah, that is a good question when you're wondering about those things. Because I mean, aside from those two teams in the East, it's very, very close. Everybody's within like just a few points of one another. I mean, I guess you could say Loudon has pulled away a little bit too, but everybody else in the standings from that fourth place down in the East, super close. Like, I mean, just a few points. And you
hmm
can kind of say the same in our conference as well. I mean, the same thing's going on. So it's really, really weird because I find it very difficult to look at like our standings and be
yeah,
like, that is for sure a beatable team. That's for sure
yeah.
a team that we're going to get a win against. And I don't know. It's really strange because I feel like when we were in League One, at this point, you pretty much would look at the table and be like, this chunk of the table, we're for sure going to beat. That chunk of the
Right.
table is going to be a challenge. And right now, the only teams that I'm like, man, if we win against them, I really don't know that I could say 100% that we're going to come away with 3 points would be the top three in the East. Everybody else
Hmm.
I feel okay about. They don't
Yeah,
really scare me. You know what I mean?
that's true. That's true. I mean, Tampa, they beat Indy
Yeah.
recently.
Right?
So yeah, I totally
It's
agree.
wild.
That it really just and our win against New Mexico, I
Yeah.
honestly did not see that coming.
Yes.
So yeah, any given day, I
It's true.
definitely agree with that.
And it's worked to our favor at least recently. These
Yeah,
5 games unbeaten. Of course, one of those was against Richmond in the Jaeger Cup, but we're still
yeah,
counting that. We still have 4 in league
hmm
play, and 3 of those being road games. So you can't be mad at all about that.
yeah,
But I just I think that this was important. I think any points on the road is essential, even if it ends up being a trio of draws, which at this point it's not going to be, right? We already got some wins off of this, but we have one more road game against Sacramento, and you kind of wonder, all right, like where are we going to be? But you raised an interesting point about like Michael Adokin. He's being shut down in this game, and I think we're seeing that every match that we'll have like a key performer, and then the next game they're kind of quiet. And then the next game, whoever took over for them in that match, they're kind of quiet.
Yeah.
And I think that's another really good spark of hope for our squad. And that speaks to our depth and the reliability of the players. Because I feel like somebody new always steps up.
Right.
I feel like when we go into a match and it's like, oh yeah, Benitez, he balled out that last game. And then all of a sudden you have 4 players covering him, so he can't do anything. Well, then you have Adedokun pop up, and then he's doing his thing. And then the team's recognizing, they're like, well, we got to stop Adedokun. And they start covering him. But then all of a sudden you have like Corey Burke slipping, you know what I mean? Or Kieran Sargent. It's really cool to see how our team doesn't feel like a team that's reliant on one single star or like a couple of stars. It feels like we have a really strong cast of actors that are all in this together to put on a really good performance. And it makes me feel really hopeful for what we're getting ready to do in Sacramento. And Sacramento is going to be kind of tough, but we'll see.
Well, and as far as predictions go, we're at 4.
Yeah.
Dylan predicted 4, if I remember correctly. I predicted 6. I'm trying to remember.
I predicted 7.
Okay.
Kyle, I think, did 5. I think.
Okay. So yeah, we had 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
So
we need one win for me to be right. And then we need another draw for Kyle to be right. Dylan's
or a loss for Dylan.
Right for now.
Right.
But we don't want him to stay right because that means bad news for the team. So we want him to be wrong on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dylan's going to be wrong.
And then yours, we're just going to say we're bumping yours up to 7, Jessica.
Yeah.
We're going to round up with yours. We're going to round up. That way we can be right together. I like this.
Done.
And I think we can do it. I do. And, interesting enough, we did have a new player join that we haven't talked about. So Chris Olney came from Philadelphia, MLS, right? So he came from Philadelphia as a loanee. And so I was kind of surprised to see him in the squad because we had just announced him like just at the end of the week. And then all of a sudden he's in the 18 and he even makes an appearance. He's just 18 years old. 18-year-old kid coming out here playing in the championship, which you love that. I love seeing young players get an opportunity. If they can ball, put them out there. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Because they're in your physical prime, and you let them ball out and get that experience. He didn't see a ton of minutes. He saw 18-ish, and it was a relatively low-key game for him. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. This is his first chance to show out with the team. Obviously, probably hasn't been with the club too terribly long. Getting some minutes in there is going to be important, especially if we're kind of looking to the future. And I know he's a loanee right now, but young players like this, if they have the skill set that you're looking for to make an impact, those are the type of players that you think, is that somebody that we can maybe buy? And then we have this young talent that can kind of stay and grow with the club and then eventually kind of show out in a way that maybe they do go on to bigger, better things. And then everybody looks at our club and they're like, whoa, they were a part of that system. So I think he's a really cool one. I'm excited to watch and see what he does and what type of role he plays going forward. Especially, we've seen some of our players from early in the season not feature as heavily because, either they're out on loan or picked up injuries or other things have happened. So opportunity is there. And hopefully he really, truly embraces it and we see some cool things from him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll see. Sacramento is coming up, though, so maybe he'll get some more minutes there. I'm curious about if we rotate a little bit more. Seems like we've kind of been rolling with our standard setup here lately. We kind of have R11 at this point, it seems. I don't know that I see that changing much. It seems to be working so far. I will say, Firmino and Jeffo, we said in one of the episodes, or I was like even super complimentary, and I can't remember. Did you say something about Firmino? Maybe it was Dylan. I forget. But I
Maybe.
think they've done so good in that central midfield pairing position, and they did it again in this game. Just like Burks and Hafferty, they paired really well together. We just have like such a really strong central grouping there.
Yeah.
And then it's accentuated by, Sargent and Zenge. And Zenge, of course, here lately, the way he's playing, he keeps going up a little bit more, joining the
Right.
attack more often. And
Yeah.
we pointed this out that Sargent here lately, anyway, has been pulled back a little bit more defensively, and
Yeah.
he's done really good serving as that third back in those spots. I mean,
For
he had
sure.
a heck of a game. Falmob had him as like player of the match. So I mean, clearly they felt he balled out, so they're backing us up when we're saying this. But he did do really great. He had 3 chances that he created in the match, which is huge, especially
That's awesome.
for a fullback. So that was killer on his part. He was winning his duels, winning his tackles, pretty spot on with his delivery. So another one of those players. We're really liking what we're seeing. So I hope
I
that we can
know.
kind of carry that momentum and keep them here and keep those MLS clubs away. Just leave your
Yep.
loanees with us. we don't need you taking it back. We'll keep them forever.
Right. Well, and Bradilio, he was at the watch party.
He was, yeah.
And we know he was injured at some point, right?
Apparently.
I mean, and that's the thing, like, I don't know, but I also wonder with bringing Medinse back and just with the recent changes with the lineup, do we think he's been pushed out?
It's hard to say. And, that's one of those interesting questions that I think all we can do is mull it over. I would think if he was healthy and good to go, that he would be in the 18.
That's true.
Based on what we saw from him.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not a coach, and I'm not in those rooms.
Right.
So, maybe there's something they don't know that I don't know. I
Yeah.
was always impressed with him on the field. I always thought that he was really fun to watch. So,
yeah,
it's a really good question.
He's one that I'm wondering about. Like, we haven't really heard much about him recently, and he's just kind of been in the background. And so,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder when we'll see him again.
Yeah, I know. It's a good question to have. I hope we see him at some point this season, because I thought he was fun to watch, and I do think he's pretty versatile up there in the top. So it's not like he's a one-trick pony where it's like, well, he was a traditional number 9, and that's all you can do with him. Like he's somebody that can play the 9, the 10. He can play outside. So I would hope that he finds his way back with us at some point somewhere. And it is one of those things too where you wonder, like, if he's not injured, it feels like this away stretch would have been a prime time to work him back into the rotation with there being so many travel demands.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But hey, I don't know. I really would like to see him again, though. He's one that I'm hoping makes an appearance sooner rather than later.
Yeah, for sure.
So Sacramento, I jokingly said you're going to round up with me to 7, but what's your honest feeling? So I will tell you, and for everybody else out there, so Sacramento is 6th in the West currently. We're 9th right now, at least according to FileMob. I know sometimes FileMob stuff is a little bit different than Championship, so don't quote me on that. It might be a little messed up. I think Jessica's double checking the league standings
on the Championship page. They have them at 4th.
There we go. Okay, gotcha. I thought that looked a little weird.
1, 2, 3. They're tied at 23 points with Sacramento, or obviously Sacramento, Phoenix, and El Paso. Yeah. They all have 23 points.
There we go. I'm glad you looked that up because I was looking at this and I was like, that's suspect. And I didn't have the league page handy. So that's what Jessica's for. She's on top of things where I'm not. So they're doing pretty good. Now, 23 points, though, is only 5 points ahead of us. So it's not like there's some juggernaut and it's like an unattainable dream to beat them. They've got 6 wins, 5 draws, 4 losses. We almost have like kind of an inverse of that. We have 4 wins, 6 draws, 6 losses. So we played one more match than they have as of now. 5 points behind them. They have a +10 goal differential. So They've only allowed 12 goals this season, and they've scored 22. We have only scored 17 while allowing 23 with a -6 goal differential. But we did have that weird drought there for a bit, and we seem to be out of that scoring drought. So I don't quite think that this is necessarily indicative of who we are at the moment if we're looking at that type of stat. But what's your honest gut tell you? You don't have to say 3 points, even though I was bullying you into it, being like, say 7 altogether.
I think I'd be happy with a draw here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I want them to win, but yeah, if anything, a draw.
I feel that. I like me, and I think anybody out there would say happy with points. I don't any longer feel like we're in like this do or die situation where if we just have a draw, it's like, oh, everything's over and we're doomed. I feel okay with the amount of points that we picked up here recently, that a draw would not make me sad, especially considering, Sacramento has been doing pretty decent here lately.
Right.
When I made my prediction for our away games, they kind of had a little bit of a stumble point. And so I was like, that's probably where the 3 points are going to come from. I think that's what I had said. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was reversed. But I think I remember saying 3 points against them is doable. They've had a couple of wins since then, decent ones, like a 2-0 against Las Vegas, 3-0 versus El Paso. Even when they lost against Orange County, it was like only a 1-0. They had a 2-0 against Rhode Island. So I think that they're going to be a tough challenge to end our away trips, but a doable challenge. And I agree with you. I will say if maybe we can kind of do what we did against Miami and we flip the script, but we managed to do it quicker. Which is sometimes hard to do in soccer, right? We don't have like timeouts. You can't just go to the sideline and talk out your game plan and be like, all right, here's what we're going to do, everybody.
Right.
But maybe if we just have like a game plan, it's like, okay, if you start seeing these things happening, I want us to switch to doing this. Maybe if we can kind of get that happening in real time and the players initiate that, maybe we can get a win. Maybe we can.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm hopeful for a win.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest, I feel like a draw is acceptable and high possibility.
Right. Well, and shoot, what I was going to say just totally left my brain.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
And then it comes back like 2 hours later and then wake up
or
and I'm
I'll
like,
just randomly remember. Oh, okay. There it was. I mean, I was surprised. We weren't expecting a win against New Mexico. So, you never know.
It's true. It's true. I feel like we have entered this period of we can surprise ourselves in good ways, and we're kind of out of the muck and the mire of being surprised in bad ways all the time, like we were early in the season. Now it's going to be like, okay, good surprises are here. I'm hoping this is a good surprise. And I don't think Sacramento is like deeply scary as a team, but we mentioned it not long ago, right? Like this whole entire conference, not even just the conference, like the league, it's so tight. Like everybody is battling in such close proximity. It's any given Sunday or Saturday in this case, but I wouldn't be surprised if either of us take all the points. I have a gut feeling we're coming away with something. I will stake everything on that. I will say something is going to come our way point wise. We're going to come back home feeling okay. And in a lot of ways, I know everybody's like, oh man, we have to like finish this road stretch against Lou City at home. I'm actually kind of grateful for that. Of course, I want us to beat them, but I think that us playing them at home in a Jaeger Cup match that doesn't have any stakes besides just pride is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. There's not like all this pressure to be like, as soon as we get home, we have to win the group. And if we don't win the group, everybody's going to be disappointed. We already lost the group. I think now it's just, let's just go have fun and play some soccer and beat Louisville and get some bragging rights and
not
feel
get
good
a
about
stupid
things.
red card.
Yes, no red cards. Let's not do that against Lou City. Leave the red cards for them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's going to happen. All right. Anything I'm forgetting, Jessica? I feel like we covered a lot.
If you're planning on coming to the Louisville game, get your tickets now because we're gonna
selling.
sell out. They're gonna
They're
sell
selling.
out. I mean, what is it? The supporter section and one
East
other
side.
section is sold out.
Apparently
So
the east side is,
yeah,
which is a big section. So
yeah.
that's a
So
lot
get your
of tickets. I know. There would be nothing worse than there being more purple than green. So please. And if you are one of like the fence sitters that you support both, look, no shame. I'm not going to
Yeah.
shame you for it. But for this match, it's in Lexington. Wear green. Like wear green. Just
Yeah.
like don't be the person that's like, I support both, but I have to support Louisville because they're higher in the standings. Don't do that. You are in Lexington, wear green, and I give you full support that if we play them in Louisville and you want to wear purple in the future, go for it. That's at their
Mhm.
stadium. Cool. We're gonna be at the stables. You best have that green on. I'm gonna be so sad. You're gonna see me
Mhm.
cry. Don't make that happen. Don't want me crying in front of all these people. So wear your green, or black with green, or bourbon orange, or presumable UK blue. I don't know. whatever you're gonna wear, just don't wear purple.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Good shout, Jessica. All right, everybody. Yeah, we got one more away match before we return home. The ladies are still firing up. We got them going out doing their thing. Hopefully, we'll get more information on whether or not they're playing some preseason stuff. I mean, like I said, pretty sure they're playing at least one or two more.
It'd be nice
And
to
then
be able
more
to.
news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be nice to be able to see him again.
right. Yeah, that'd be really, really cool if we got a chance to see them at the stables or even one of our facilities out there. Everybody
Mhm.
come out there for free and just kind of scope out what's coming our way. I think that'd be really, really cool. So hopefully that occurs. Everybody just needs to be watching for news. By now, you've probably seen the kit drop for the men. So looking forward to reactions for that. Otherwise, I mean, you know what it is. Come on, you greens.